Hello, and welcome to a very special Halloween episode of No Expectations Podcast, Cutting the Cult edition. Here we are with Michael Myers. I don't know where the hell James is today, but we have this big boy coming in for a replacement today. Yeah, we're really excited. I'm going to go. What's the deal with this guy? He's fucking creepy, man.
I don't know.
I don't like him. He smells like a dead animal.
The mask is kind of weird.
Yeah,
Is he trying to...
I think he's coming over. He probably wants to ask for a ride home or something. Oh, shit. Hey, buddy, look. We're just trying to make a show here. You know, we don't... Alright, I'm out of here. Fuck. Alright, hey, just get the fuck back, alright, dude? Get! Hello, and welcome to a very special Halloween episode of the No Expectations Podcast, Cutting the Cult edition. I just had a crazy fever dream where I was killed by Michael Myers right before this, but thank God we are alive and well for the time being. James Paulovich here with me. How you doing, man?
I am great.
In the dream, you weren't there. I just assumed Michael killed you.
So it was a Michael dream.
It was a Michael dream, yeah. Not Michael Jackson, but the other kind of dream, the Michael Myers dream.
Michael Myers.
Less touching, more stabbing, but and less carousels. But it was pretty intense, man. You were there too, Max, but...
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Anyway, but today we're not talking about Michael Myers, but we are talking about 1987's The Lost Boys, directed by Joel Schumacher, the late great master.
Another cult classic.
Yes, a cult classic that we are cutting into today. And this completes our Schumacher trilogy on the channel. So very excited to dive into this because this is a very interesting movie, and I think it was made at an absolutely perfect time.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. For the 80s in general, like you cannot remake this film.
No.
I know they're planning on to, but why? Yeah, this is The Lost Boys. We got Kiefer Sutherland in here. You know, the other... Oh, shoot, what the fuck? I'm drawing a blank on the actors. I had a couple of drinks, boys.
Jamie Gertz.
Jamie Gertz, yes.
We've got... I always forget the main guy's name.
Jason Patrick.
Jason Patrick.
Corey Haim.
Good-looking man.
Diane West. Corey Feldman, the Coreys.
Yes, Alex Winter briefly in one of his early roles, pre-Bill and Ted, which was pretty interesting. And yeah, the cast in this was fantastic. And then just Joel Schumacher, man, this is one of his best movies. I think Falling Down and this are my two favorites by Joel Schumacher.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
I would say my top three for him are Falling Down, Lost Boys, and Batman Forever. Those are my top three. But yeah, absolutely fantastic. What I thought was so interesting was reading a little bit of some of the trivia about this movie. Richard Donner, who directed Lethal Weapon, was the executive producer on this. Richard Donner was actually ready to direct this movie himself, but he had way too many obligations still with Lethal Weapon.
Really?
So he gave the movie to Joel Schumacher. But it was almost a Richard Donner directed film.
I wonder how that would have turned out.
It would have been very interesting, yeah.
I think I'm happy with Joel Schumacher.
I'm really happy with the way it went because also Donner was working the same year on Lethal Weapon. So we got two masterpieces.
Two great movies.
From two legends. So super, super fascinating. But yeah, Max, go ahead and give us the rundown on this movie for those who may have not seen it.
All right, so it's a vampire movie, yes. It was, what year was this?
87.
87, yeah.
87.
After moving to a new town, two brothers discover that the area is a haven for vampires.
Mm-hmm.
And that place is like Santa Clarita or Santa
Clara?
Santa Clara.
It was actually filmed around Santa Cruz.
Oh, yeah. It's an actual non-existent city, but you can kind of pinpoint where it is by looking at some of the landmarks there. Yeah, I liked this movie. I don't think it lived up to the hype as much as everybody else thought.
Ooh, controversial hot take.
I know. I got a hot take on this one.
But you know what's kind of cool
that
about
insults
this,
a lot
though?
of people.
What's
don't
kind
like
of
that.
cool about this, though, and I love it for Cutting the Cult because we are cutting into the cult status and reviewing these iconic movies and really getting to the nitty-gritty of what makes them great or what makes them overrated. And in this case, James and I are both fans of this. But I love that you are a critic of this because we kind of get a little difference of opinion. It's pretty cool. So tell me what you don't like about it. Let's hear about it.
I don't know. I think maybe it was overhyped for me because
Okay.
I have so many people that are just such big fans of it.
Mhm.
So in my mind, it was going to be this amazing movie, and just I don't know. I just didn't. I couldn't relate to it that much. I guess.
Are you telling me you've never been a New Kid in Town that's run by vampires? 'Cause, I mean, I have twice, like twice, age 11,
Really?
age 16. Yeah.
Where?
Well, it's kind of private, but
Yeah.
yeah, Glendale.
Glenn.
I would say like he says this like overhype. Another movie like that for me. No, not for me. I
Oh,
love
okay.
this film.
Yeah, I love this.
Another
film.
movie like you probably have, like you've heard me say this is Pulp Fiction.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not it's overhyped for me. I think it's a great film, but I don't think it's as good.
Well,
I think it's great, but when anything gets to that level, sorry to interrupt you, Max, but when anything
ahead.
gets to that level where it's like everyone like worships it,
Mhm.
it gets to a point where like I almost feel like you can only be disappointed, especially with how critical we are
Yeah.
of movies.
I think
It's like
that's-
whenever anyone's like, "Oh, it's a perfect film," I have my idea of like what a perfect movie is, and then I go in and I'm like, ah. So it's almost always a letdown when people overhype movies.
That's why we have to go in with
no
no expectations.
expectations.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
thinking when I had seen it, I was working for a production company in LA, and I was reading scripts and writing synopsises for these scripts daily. So, like, 5 out of 10 of the scripts that I would have to read were vampire scripts.
Oh,
And
that was
so
that
I was kind of
Twilight
burnt
time?
out on it was around the Twilight times, and I think I may have just been burnt out on vampire stuff, and
Totally.
I don't know. Maybe I rewatched it, and no, I still don't like it.
It's okay. I
Fun-
feel like. Go ahead.
I was gonna say fun fact because speaking of Twilight, I was almost in Twilight as an extra.
Yeah?
As an
Really?
extra, yeah.
Tell us the story
Nice.
of this. I didn't know about this.
There was an agency actually in Arizona. They were doing like auditions or just extras, and you could literally anyone could have been there.
Really?
But I was like a high school student and a teenager. I didn't have a job, so I had to pay for headshots to order to get in,
Oh.
and of course I didn't. And I mean, I probably could have just like done something really simple, but it would have been like kind of neat to be in a
Of
movie,
course, yeah.
even though it's one of the worst vampire movies. Sorry, I know
Oh.
people love Twilight, but
James and Harvey Weinstein got very close at that
yeah,
time.
very close.
But I hear
Preteens love
they
it.
don't talk anymore.
Yes.
Yeah. That's interesting. I didn't know. You never told me that.
I thought
James
I
has some secrets.
Are there any
I
other
don't know.
movies that
James has some
you
secrets.
auditioned for, or
I didn't like. No, I just like. I remember after doing that one and seeing the price. Like, I don't have money for this. I mean, especially like back then. Like,
yeah, I feel you.
yeah, there's definitely a barrier to Hollywood. Money's one of them.
Emmett and I submitted auditions for Star Wars Episode
I
7.
remember.
Really?
And that's actually on the Unfazed channel. If
Yeah,
anyone
you
wants
can
to watch
you
it.
can see our younger days auditions from 2013, which is pretty
crazy.
interesting. But man, I'm telling you, we would have saved that movie. But I don't actually I don't know if even we could save that movie. Those movies sucked. But anyway, let's talk about The Lost Boys. though.
Yes.
This movie, dude, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, for vampire movies, this is one of the best. Because vampires are tricky. It's like you see how easily they can go off the rails and they can get fucked up, a la Twilight or a la even Bram Stoker's Dracula with Gary Oldman. Like that one had its moments, but I feel like it was ultimately kind of a letdown. But it was still, it had a few good parts.
Yeah.
But, I feel like vampires are really hard to do correctly, and this is one that did it really well because it had a little bit of humor, too.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, this is what they did very well with this film is they added like the mix of like the genres. You can have some comedy in here, especially with
Totally.
like the Coreys, like the Frog Brothers and
Yeah.
everything. They just added that extra flair to the film, and then some very like scary moments as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when I was younger, there was parts of this film that used to scare me. But now going back to it, of course, like nothing really fears me anymore. But
He's a tough motherfucker.
I am. I did. Yeah, I know. I just did a haunted house last night, and nothing.
You were you were the one scaring them when you went in the haunted house.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, kicking these teenagers.
Yeah, a whole bunch of teenagers.
Yeah. Anyway, continue.
Oh, that's about it. I mean, like with the vampire films, like there's only a certain amount of vampire films that I love, and this is like top of the
Top heap.
list
Yeah.
right there. I mean, you got this. I love the Blade movies. People
Blade's
hate
good.
on
Yeah.
third one. I think it's fun. And
I heard
then-
Wesley Snipes was a nightmare to work with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I heard too. He's like terrible, and especially when for the third film, Ryan Reynolds and Jessica Biel wanted more screen time, and he didn't want it. But going back to the Lost Boys,
Mm. Yeah.
it's just
I feel like what makes The Lost Boys so great is the exact time that it was made.
yes.
Had it been made 5 years earlier, still would have been great. Had it been five years later, still would have been great. Anything beyond that, though, it wouldn't work, I don't think.
Yeah.
There was something about 1987 and just that group of actors and that time capsule right there.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely perfect, man.
Well,
and
this was the first movie that the two Coreys were together.
it
Yeah.
was very correct.
It
Yeah,
was.
and also we were literally just listening to it before this, thanks to Max. Max, how about that freaking soundtrack though? Even if you don't like the movie, how about that freaking soundtrack, dude?
The soundtrack, I really enjoy the soundtrack.
Yeah, dude.
And one of the songs on there, what's it called? The City Little Sister.
Cry Little Sister.
You Cry Little Sister. Yeah. That's been sampled
So many times.
so
Marilyn
many
Manson
times.
did a really cool.
You literally
cover
go
of
on you go on Spotify and search up "Cry Little Sister" and it just says theme
Eminem,
song for the
Wow.
Lost
Jim
Boys.
Jones, Lil B,
So good, man.
Mobb Deep.
But yeah, this movie I remember seeing as a kid and really enjoying it. And then I feel like there was a big gap where I didn't watch it again for like a good, like, I want to say almost like maybe 8 or 10 years.
I
and
agree.
then I started rewatching it again because I remember seeing it distinctly as a kid, probably when I was like 10 or 11 and really enjoying it. And then, yeah, I didn't watch it again until I was probably like 19 or something like that. And, yeah, such a great movie. I've gone back and rewatched it quite a few times since then, probably a good, 6 or 7 times.
Well, it's weird because you have that gap age when you were younger. I have that gap age like now. Like
Yeah.
the recently watched was like this last week.
Wow.
And before that, it's been like probably like 5, maybe almost. I want to say 10, but like 5 to
been a
8
while.
years. It's been a
Yeah.
while. That's why I really need a refresher. I was like,
Such
I
a
know
masterpiece,
I've seen
though.
it a lot though, but I was
Yeah.
like, I'm like happy to rewatch this film. It's been a while.
And there's something about the vibe of it too, like you were saying. You know how it balances like with a little bit of humor and a little bit of like campiness.
Mhm.
They do it so well though, and then they still get away with those dramatic, tense moments and like creepy moments. It's like a weird mixture of like a Tales from the Crypt episode and like Teen Wolf, and it
What-
somehow is like perfect.
Thrown
It
in
kind of reminds me of
Goosebumps.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah. Hey, fun fact.
I did
about
like that show a lot.
When they say, what do they say? They say like vamp up or something like that, or vamp off or something like that. They ended up using that phrase in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but it was
Really?
coined from the Lost Boys.
I would say too, because like if you look at the Buffy the Vampire, I believe like their vampires look very similar to
I could see that.
Lost Boys. The way
I heard
they
one of
look.
the ones in the Lost Boys was actually molded after Joel Schumacher. So there's
That's
one
funny.
that in the background, like in the gang, that looks like Joel Schumacher because it was actually tailored to look like him. But yeah, dude, this movie is absolutely fantastic, and there's just I don't know, there's a vibe there that I can't think of many other movies that have a similar vibe. It's like I would say like Teen Wolf, but Teen Wolf is like full comedy.
Yeah,
this
it's
one's not
different.
full comedy.
I would say the closest thing will be, and I don't even know if I don't know, Fright Night.
Okay,
It was like
Fright
the old
Night, yeah.
'80s vampire one. It's been a while since I've seen it. I remember the new one more than
Yeah.
the old one with the new one with Colin Farrell, which was fun.
You know what this feels like a hybrid of? Lost Boys reminds me of a hybrid of Karate Kid and like American Werewolf in London
Mm-hmm.
combined.
And
But
I was actually you're right. I was just saying a mixture of the Goonies, but it's just because the kids.
I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah, and especially because you had like the Coreys and the Corey Feldman like right at the start of his prime from
Yeah.
all his movies like this. It was this and like Goonies.
It's one of
and then-
Kiefer's first big roles too. He
Yeah.
had done some other stuff too. He did another movie right around the same time. I want to say like 86 or 87, maybe 88. It was give or take a year literally with Michael J. Fox called Bright Lights Big City, which is a very good movie and very underrated.
Never seen it.
I have it if you want to borrow it. It's a
I'm
great one.
happy.
But really, really good movie. And it was like those guys literally in their prime. And I feel like nobody talks about that movie. But that's the only thing I can think of earlier than this that had Kiefer in it. But I think this was his breakout role that really made him a household name.
Was he in Young Guns?
He was
first?
in Young Guns.
Was that first
yeah.
or
that
was it
like
after?
that was 90s.
Okay, and
89
then-
or 90.
So it was this, and then Flatliners, which is another Joel Schumacher film.
Oh, yeah,
as
I
well.
didn't think about that.
Yeah, they collaborated a couple
They're
times
buddies,
there.
yeah.
Ooh.
I hear Kiefer Sutherland's a real fun, but also real mean, nasty drunk. But I feel like it would be fun to witness. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would probably the first couple hours, and then he just gets
Yeah,
becomes an asshole.
yeah. I
but
feel like he and
fun.
Mel Gibson. I would just love to like handcuff them to a table together and just like leave a bottle
Bottle
of scotch
and
there,
a cheeseburger right
and then
in
like,
front.
and then yeah, and then 2 knives, and then like leave another bottle of tequila like under the chair and just see what happens. Just see and like record it from like 3 different angles. But I will say the babe of the movie for me, and I think we can all agree, Jamie Gertz. Jamie Gertz, I think, in this era specifically, is one of the
yes.
the most beautiful women on the planet. Like I totally fell in love with her in Less Than Zero, which was also the same year. A fantastic movie if you guys haven't checked it out. But 1987 was like her breakout year, and she is just stunning, absolutely stunning.
She's just a star in this movie.
She is a star. Yes. Hey, I have a very interesting question for you guys. Based on that, out of the whole cast of this movie, think about it. You got some icons in there. Who has the highest net worth out of all the cast in The Lost Boys, directors included?
Directors included.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think probably Kiefer though.
Yeah,
You looked it up, didn't you?
I did. That's why I'm curious. Max, who do you think out of the whole cast has the highest net worth? Let's just say just the cast. Forget director. Forget producers. Out of all these guys,
Oof.
Who is the highest net worth?
Kiefer got 24, man. He's still starting a lot.
Yeah, Kiefer has done a lot.
Diane West?
You want me to tell you?
Yeah, tell me. I'm just
All
taking
right.
a guess.
So someone in this cast net worth is worth $3 billion with a B
No.
dollars. One more guess. Who's the billionaire out of the Lost Boys?
Corey
Corey
Feldman.
Feldman?
Jamie Gertz is a billionaire.
Jamie Gertz.
Jamie Gertz, very successful actress, ended up marrying a multi-billionaire mogul. And he's like I forget what he does, but
Oh, wow.
I looked up her net worth, $3 billion with a B.
Jeez.
Jamie Gertz is a freaking billionaire.
That is nuts.
Isn't that
He
crazy?
doesn't really have to work.
She's working on a movie right now. I Want You
Ooh.
Back, 2020.
Isn't that crazy? A billionaire with a B? And we're not talking, not 3 million. We're talking 3 billion. But yeah, what a hottie.
Oh, Scott Eastwood.
3 billion
in
and
there,
she's
Jenny
still working.
Slate.
Oh, there you go.
We've got a nice cast of people in there for our next movie.
I always find it interesting when someone doesn't have to work anymore and then they go and do like a really slutty role. Like I'm always kind of like, all right, what's going on here? A little midlife crisis, I know Jamie's been she's definitely done that. Marissa Tomei's definitely done that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Halle Berry kind of. Like it's like almost like they get so successful, they're like
What do I
they
do
want to hang
next?
on to that youth. Jennifer Lopez in that like stripper heist movie,
Mhm.
I don't know. They're hanging on to that ever fleeting beauty. I don't know. But yeah, Jamie Gertz, man, what a goddess.
I'm gonna join you with that real quick.
Of course.
I think I'm going to pour myself a glass.
Shout out to Cazadores. This episode is unofficially sponsored by Cazadores Tequila Repasado from Mexico. Go get yourself a glass. They are big supporters of the podcast.
I'll pass that. There you go.
So I would also like to say, guys, thank you so much for sticking with us. We noticed that the subscriber count has been growing very slowly, but still growing.
Surely, yeah.
So we want to say thank you to all the new viewers, all the new subscribers, and yeah, definitely like share our content because we're working hard to make this stuff, and it's so much fun to make. Like we
It's
absolutely
lots
love
of
it, and we just want to share our love of movies with the world. So thank you guys, old and new viewers. We
Thanks for
appreciate you, and seriously, happy Halloween. Because
Happy
like,
Halloween,
even
guys.
if you're watching this like in March of 2035, I don't care. Happy Halloween, dude, because it's definitely for me my favorite holiday.
I think it's our favorite holiday.
It's it's our favorite altogether, and it just I don't know, man. This year especially, it's been like really palpable, just like the fun energy in the air, and I hope it's translating into the episodes because like this so far is just like a blast to do. Like, and shout out to James, he did most of the set design here. I mean, obviously it was on Max's already fantastic studio, but we got the Michael Myers mask, we got the fog machine, which is pretty cool, but anyway,
It's the only holiday that has an entire store that
yes.
pops up every
Yeah.
year just dedicated to it.
Yeah, and there's not pop-up Christmas stores. It's displays within existing stores. But Halloween has its own pop-up stores.
Spirit.
It's good shit.
It's a popular holiday.
What are you doing tonight for Halloween? What's everyone doing tonight?
Oh, I'm not doing anything. Halloween's tomorrow night, right?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Tonight's Saturday night as of the recording of this. So it's like the party night, but actual Halloween is tomorrow. So I guess
I'm-
what should I say? What are you doing for Halloween?
I'm taking all the kids out. We got a group of like 6 or 7 kids and
Fun.
4 or 5 parents, and we got a side by side, and we just go to a rich neighborhood and
Oh, very nice.
Perfect.
Get those
hit
full
as many
candy
houses
bars.
as we can.
Yeah, I'm a big advocate of the full candy bars to the trick or treaters.
Oh yeah.
I'm taking 2 of the kids out of my girlfriend's little sisters. We're going trick or treating for a little bit, and after that, we're dropping them off, and then
very
we're having a
fun.
Halloween party. I'm dressing up this year as well.
Very
Um,
nice.
Yeah, you can probably guess who it is.
You are going to be Nicki Minaj.
Yes, absolutely.
Nice. Booty,
Nah.
booty pop.
I'm gonna be Shaggy, of course.
Do it. You
Roll,
gotta do it.
roll.
You gotta
Been
do it.
growing my hair out for
You
it.
gotta do it.
Like Scooby Doo.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Raggy.
That's really good.
Yeah. Thank you.
Very impressive. I'm going to be Joe Rogan. As you can see, not very much effort will go into it. It'll be very easy. I have an American flag T-shirt that says Jiu-Jitsu on it. I got some big bulky headphones, and I got some fake sleeve tattoos. And it's a very low effort costume, but I'm super excited about it. And I don't have to worry about suffocating wearing a mask, so that's kind
Yeah.
of nice.
Yeah.
But Max, you have a costume picked out?
Well, my costume is a robe, a wizard's hat,
Oh.
and a staff and an orb. You can guess what I am? I'm a
exotic.
wizard.
You are a wizard, Harry.
And
Or you're a hairy wizard.
yeah, I'm a
Gandalf.
hairy wizard. I'm the mullet wizard of Arizona.
Oh, very nice.
It's fun.
nice.
I try to stay away from masks. Cause,
Yeah, this
or
year.
like anything that's uncomfortable and I will want to
Yeah.
take off.
And it gets a little sweaty too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I always
usually
think
do
if I'm at a
those.
place like that and I meet a lovely lady and I want to go like talk and stuff, it's kind of like it's awkward. You're like pulling off this mask and like your face is all red and sticky and like it's just I don't know about sticky, but anyway, well, maybe I don't know. But it's just uncomfortable and like it's gross and then like it makes your beard all like go all over
Yeah.
the place and I'm like fuck this. I'm just gonna go like as minimal effort as possible, but still have something kind of creative. So I figured, Rogan. You know, I'm gonna be a bearded
Yeah.
Rogan. I'm gonna be Rogan when he gets back from an elk trip.
Are you going to
He's
be
a
like
little
taking
unshaven.
some testosterone?
Who says I don't already? But, no, I'm not gonna do anything crazy. But I might, I might get hyper from candy.
It's gonna be a fun weekend.
It's gonna be
Very
a good
fun
fucking weekend. Well, let's get back to this movie. So,
Yeah.
we keep, but you know what it is. There's so much going on this weekend. We're just like we're excited. We're like excited little kids.
What's your favorite part of the movie?
Favorite part of the movie, dude? The one that always, literally, when I think of the Lost Boys, I think of the Chinese food worm scene.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, where he's eating that and then he looks and it looks like maggots or worms like
He's
inside.
like, yeah, how's your rice, Michael?
Yeah.
And,
Oh, or is it rice?
it's
Yeah.
rice, and then he does
yeah.
worms afterwards.
Oh,
for
he does
noodles.
both. Yeah, he does both. Yeah, but he, yeah, that scene for whatever reason sticks out of my mind. And then the scene I really, really, really remember from as a kid, like that is like really ingrained in my mind, is hanging from the bridge. scene.
Yeah.
And they drop off into the fog. Like that's such a cool,
That was
interesting
cool.
scene.
That was a
That
great shot.
scene, and
Yeah.
then a scene I like too is when Alex Winter gets stabbed underneath in the caves,
yeah.
which you can still, I believe.
alert!
Oh, you can. I believe you can visit those caves still.
Oh,
yeah,
very cool.
yeah. The tide goes up and down.
And
so
Alex Winter's still in there,
yeah,
guys.
he is still in there.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Excellent, bogus.
Yeah, but you have to go right when the tide goes up and down. Like you have to like time it right, and then you're in the cave still. It's kind
That
of really
is pretty
cool.
badass.
Mhm.
And also another scene that really stands out to me is just the whole opening sequence where they've got like the helicopter shot
Yeah.
going around of the Santa Cruz Pier there, and then you get like just everyone and like the band on the bandstand with
Yeah.
the like
The
sweaty,
sexy
greasy saxophone guy. I
sexy,
heard
sweaty
there was a really, really big earthquake in 1990, 89 or 90. Let's say 90. And it destroyed that bandstand, and it also destroyed I believe it was the original comic shop.
Interesting.
Yeah. So fun facts.
That-
And also, I heard
that,
the guy who owns that comic shop, you know, that Vampire Hunters like
Yeah.
comic book that they have, he still has that, and he allows people to come in and take pictures with it,
That's
and it's signed
cool.
by the whole cast.
Really?
Yeah, and he
That's
still
cool.
has that. Yeah.
Is like the
But-
comic book place like is it still like an active comic
Yeah.
book store?
Yeah,
That's
from
cool.
what I understand.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Well, the
But
sexy
pretty
sax man, that's actually Timmy Capello. He's
that?
like he's a trained musician, composer, jazz pianist.
He still does autographs.
Does he?
He
now?
does. He.
Just as that character. People come see him as that character. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. No joke. Yeah.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, there's-
Okay.
He was offered the role after he was turned down a part in the Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Oh shit. It's like, hey, Joel Schumacher's like, would you like to put on some oil? Which is- I don't see what's so funny about it. I think he enhances the scene. I think he's.
Well,
Yeah.
sax is the sexiest instrument.
Yeah, you know why Joel Schumacher said he wanted to make this movie? They asked him, they said, why The Lost Boys? And he said, because vampires are the sexiest monsters. And he said, Frankenstein's not sexy. Vampires, sexy.
They almost casted all of the vampires to be like children. Like it was supposed to be like a vampire Goonies.
Michael Jackson was very disappointed.
That makes sense for the. I bet the script even says that probably,
I
huh?
bet,
Because
yeah.
of Lost Boys.
Oh, Lost Boys.
Mhm.
Lost Boys, he got the, or they got the title idea from Peter Pan.
Yeah. See,
Yeah, which I thought was super interesting.
can't grow old.
Would you like to get a little? We're not going to get right into it immediately, but I want to mention a alternate casting that almost was a reality. The character of David, played by Kiefer Sutherland,
Yeah.
was almost, I kid you not, almost given to Jim Carrey.
Jim
Really?
Carrey.
Yes, yes, that is a
Really?
legit fact. Look it up. And he had already been in the movie Once Bitten,
Oh yeah.
and they wanted Jim Carrey, and I think that would have made a radically different vibe
That
to the
would've
character
been-
and the movie and everything. Yeah. I'm gonna bite you. All right.
So,
Michael,
Yeah.
There-
Michael.
Oh, that would
Anyway,
be fun.
it would have been wild. Yeah. But
Well, there's another almost alternate casting for this movie.
Was there?
I guess Ben Stiller, in an interview with People magazine, he was almost casted for Kiefer's role or one of the two Corys.
Shit.
Yeah.
Ben Stiller, dude.
That
I
would have
heard-
been nuts.
I could be wrong, but I think Pauly Shore and Ben Stiller also auditioned for Bill and Ted.
Yeah. Pauly Shore did. I don't know about Ben Stiller, but
Ben Stiller, and he also did. He did another pretty significant one too. Oh, I think Ben Stiller auditioned for Ferris Bueller.
I can see
I
that.
think.
I can
think
see
he
that.
did. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one, guys. Fact check Ben on that one. But sometimes my facts start to run together, and then they're not facts anymore. They're just lies. But anyway, do you want to get into alternate castings?
Yeah, we could absolutely do alternate castings.
Let's do it. I will. Do you want to kick it off? Or you want me to?
I feel like I always kick it off. You
Okay.
you say it,
All right.
and then I kick it up. But let's let you do it this time.
You want to just alternate on characters? We both do them together.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's
That'd
do
be
that.
let's,
That sounds like
that makes it a
fun.
lot easier.
All right. So I'm gonna kick it off, and if you didn't do one of the ones that I didn't do,
Yeah,
we'll
that's
just
fine.
we'll just skip it. Okay. So let me go to my thingy here. Lost Boys recasting.
Ben Stiller? You mean Ben Stein?
No, I mean Ben Stiller.
Oh.
Ben Stein wasn't Ferris Bueller though. That was his breakout role. He was actually just a friend of someone on set, and he was hanging out. I don't know if he was friends with John Hughes or someone else, but he was literally just like a teacher in real life, and he was hanging out on the set. And they're like, "Hey, can you be the voice of the teacher for this?" And then they liked the way he looked, and they're like,
Just put him in
"Why
there.
don't you just get in there?" And then they're like, "Can you just riff about something you know?"
That's
and he's
funny.
like, "All right." He's like, "I'm going to talk about whatever it was." I think he was talking about something from like
Clear Eyes, right?
no, he was talking about he was like economics or something like that.
Well, he's an economics
Voodoo economics.
Isn't that the
Voodoo
guy?
economics.
Isn't the Clear Eyes guy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Brian eyes, dry eyes. Anyway, so yeah, that was like just a fluke that he got in that movie, and that like he became like an icon and like a celebrity from that. They're just hanging out on set, and they're like, "Oh, talk about whatever you know." Anyway, so let's get back to the Lost Boys. All right, so my recasting, the love of my '80s life, Jamie Gertz. I picked Mia Sarah from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Did you only do one person?
We'll just trade out. I only did one for that one, but I did.
Okay.
I did 2 for Michael and 2 for David.
I
so.
did Jennifer Connelly.
Jennifer Connelly, good
Jennifer
choice.
Connelly,
Okay. I also, for Jason Patrick, Michael's character, I picked 2 for this one. I picked Emilio Estevez
That's
or Robert Downey Jr.
not bad.
Yes.
No, I did just one. Keanu Reeves. Young
Oh, very
Keanu
cool.
Reeves.
Oh, I also put Andrew McCarthy. Andrew McCarthy.
I don't know who Andrew McCarthy is right now.
Less Than Zero. Main
Oh,
guy. Yeah. Weekend at Bernie's. Yes. I think I had Less Than Zero on the mind.
you've seen Less Than Zero a lot.
Yeah. RDJ also could have been Kiefer's role, too.
I think honestly I would have RDJ over for Kiefer's role. For
That's
David.
interesting.
Mhm.
That's interesting. For Kiefer Sutherland, I also put Rob Lowe as David. Did you?
I put Rob
Did
Lowe.
you put Rob
I
Lowe?
put Rob Lowe. Yeah. I had to think about it. I was like, wait, fuck, yeah, Rob Lowe, Kiefer.
Fun fact: Rob Lowe and Joel Schumacher worked together on St. Elmo's Fire in 1985. And if you look in, I believe it's Sam's room. Is that Corey Feldman or Corey Haim? I can't remember.
Corey Haim.
Corey Haim's room. You can see a Rob Lowe poster in there.
Yeah.
And they said that was because they just worked together 2 years before. So
Hmm.
fun fact. Okay, for the 2 Coreys, for Sam, I picked River Phoenix, and for Corey Feldman, I put Sean Astin.
I
as
got Sean
Edgar.
Astin
Did you?
for Corey Haim.
Okay.
Corey Haim's carried. Actually, sorry, no, you're right. Corey Feldman, Sean Astin, and then for Corey Haim's, I put Anthony Michael Hall.
Good choice.
Mhm.
Solid choice. Really good choice, actually.
Mhm.
That would be awesome. For Alex Winter, even though it's a small part, I picked Keanu Reeves because Bill and Ted, it would just be funny to reverse them.
I didn't do him. I think that's it, and I just have writer and director.
Okay, I also did the mom's boyfriend, who, spoiler alert, major spoiler alert, he is the main, like, vampire.
Wait, what?
I picked George Carlin as the alternate casting.
That actually would have
I
been
thought
that would've
David
been
Bowie.
hilarious. David Bowie you picked?
Yeah.
Dude, that would be fun.
That would've been good.
Badass.
It would have been great.
Boys, I'm going to take your mother out, then we're going to come back and we're going to drink blood.
family.
Yes, I'm the star man. Okay, so writers, the real writers for this movie, for the story are Jan Fisher and James Jeremias, and the screenplay was done by Jeffrey Boehm. I picked Bret Easton Ellis for the story and Harley Payton for the screenplay, who did Less Than Zero.
Just for writer, I did Tom Holland, not Spider-Man. Tom Holland.
Mr. Stark, sir.
I mentioned this earlier. Fright Night. He wrote Fright Night, and he did Child's Play.
Oh, very interesting. That would have been a solid choice, definitely. For director, I do think Richard Donner would have been super interesting, but I picked Martin Scorsese because the year before he would have done Color of Money, and I just love that era of Scorsese.
That was that. It doesn't even feel like a Scorsese.
I know,
film.
and I think just because of Color of Money and seeing how different that movie was, I would have loved to have seen Martin Scorsese do something like The
that,
Lost Boys.
yeah.
It would
You
have
should
been cool.
really pick up like a horror movie.
He did Shutter Island. It's the closest we got. I like Shutter Island. You like Shutter Island?
It's okay. People, it was overhyped for me, and the trailer like gave away the whole entire movie.
I figured it out before I
Oh,
saw it.
yeah.
I was like, oh, he's
I
a
was like,
patient.
oh, he's a patient. Boom.
Yeah. And then
Sorry,
for
spoiler.
guys, if you haven't seen the 15-year-old movie or 12-year-old movie, whatever it is.
Same thing with this.
As far as producers, I also thought, even though Richard Donner did a great job, obviously, I think it would have been cool to see Wes Craven or John Carpenter as an executive producer.
I was thinking about John Carpenter.
Yeah, or even Tim Burton as an executive producer.
Yeah.
Not as a director, because he'd go off the rails with his style, but I think as
Yeah,
a
I
producer,
considered him as a director, but like you said, like his style and everything,
Yeah.
I was like, hey, it would have been a
Kind of
little,
blurring.
way too much.
yeah,
too
it would
much
be a
for
little too, it
yeah.
would get too Beetlejuicy,
Yeah.
you know?
Director? Did you do a director?
Scorsese.
Oh yeah, that's right, Scorsese. Because we skipped to producers. Director, I did Joe Dante, who did Gremlins.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Wonder
have like that
Dante.
fun.
That
like,
could be fun.
It's
Did he do
horror
both Gremlins
campy.
or just the first
I
one?
believe he did both. I believe he did both.
No shit.
Mhm.
Okay, that's a really solid choice because yeah, you can have the balance. You can have
Mhm.
the best of both worlds, the horror and the. Very cool. Yeah, that is my favorite freaking segment. I absolutely love that.
I know you did. Yeah.
We're gonna have a lot
I
of
love those.
pictures to insert for that part. We'll do the rundown real fast,
Yeah.
but yeah, dude, this movie, like, seriously though, I mean, even some movies is a little easier to do recastings than others. This one was kind of tough. Like they cast it very well.
They did.
It was a really good movie, and like I said, that soundtrack was just absolutely perfect. And I heard one of the reasons why Kiefer Sutherland agreed to do this movie was because he heard that In Excess was going to be on the soundtrack, and he was a big fan of the band because he had spent some time in Australia, and he was like, "Oh shoot, those guys are part of it." He's like, "Count me in for the role of David."
I remember you introduced me to NX.
In Excess?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're fantastic. If you guys don't know In Excess, look them up right after this video. They are one of the best bands from Australia ever, and then I would say just one of the best classic rock bands of all time. Like Michael Hutchence was an absolute genius, so check them out. Max, anything you'd like to add about the music to this film?
I mean, 80s horror movies soundtracks are just legendary.
Yeah, so
that's
good.
when all these synthesizers started coming out,
Mhm.
and so they were using lots of sort of hybrid analog digital techniques. They're
Yeah.
all recording to tape. So if you have like a synthesizer, lots of times they'll throw it through a reamp. They'll reamp the signal, throw it into a reverb chamber, and that's how you get these really like real, like kind of spooky synthesizer sounds that you can't really get just out of the box when you're
Yeah.
working with a digital synthesizer. But yeah, there's just all these legendary synthesizers and composers that came out of that time, and a lot of it is these people are geniuses, but I think a lot of it is also that the equipment that they were using was just coming out of the woodworks.
Totally.
All of this really cool stuff. It's
Yeah.
just kind of a sign of the times, and yeah, this is one of them where you got a really cool soundtrack. Like they were really collaborating
Yeah.
closely with the.
It was a banger.
Yeah, it was a banger.
It was
It was
really
so
good.
good. Just wondering, do you have any other movies that you really like the soundtrack or a particular song from the soundtrack?
Absolutely. Yeah, totally. One of my favorites that I always go back to, you guys have heard me talk about it a billion times, but really fantastic soundtrack is from Collateral, the Tom Cruise, Jamie Foxx movie. That soundtrack, dude, absolutely fantastic. It just fits the mood of everything perfectly. And you've got a really diverse range of music. It's almost like how diverse like Los Angeles is. It's like you've got like hip hop vibes, you've got jazz vibes, you've got Mexican like samba, you've got like music from like this Japanese club, and you've got dude, I mean like all over the place, like literally all over the place, and everything works perfectly. And then there's just some really great instrumentals in there too. There's this guy Tom Rothrock who does some really good guitar tracks in there, and like anytime Detective Fanning comes in, like there's that music playing, and yeah, so the Collateral soundtrack is absolutely fantastic. The Ferris Bueller's Day Off soundtrack, absolutely fantastic. John Hughes, fun fact about him that I don't know if we've talked about, I would love to dedicate more episodes to John Hughes in the future
Absolutely.
because he's personally one of my favorite directors.
And it's one of
He's-
our first things that we reviewed was a John's Hughes
Yeah,
film.
our very first episode of No Expectations Video Store was Some Kind of Wonderful.
Mhm.
1986?
Yeah.
No, 84. I think 84.
He didn't direct it though, right? He wrote.
He was
it.
a screenwriter.
Screenwriter for
He was
it.
a
It's one of his
screenwriter.
first.
The director escapes me because I don't remember who it
Yeah.
was. But he was a screenwriter on that, same as he was for Vacation. He was dude. The same year he wrote the screenplay for Vacation, he also did Mr. Mom. Like what a prolific fucking screenwriter. Love John Hughes. But what I was gonna say in regards to Ferris Bueller's Day Off and his movies, the reason the soundtracks are so good, I was watching some behind the scenes stuff on him. He had like this like genius knowledge of music, and he knew like all this obscure stuff, and he had a massive record collection. And they said like you had a question about the soundtrack, like Hughes was the guy. Like he
Oh,
just
wow.
like he was really good at compiling all like the perfect songs and finding these like lesser known one hit wonder bands, and he was like a music guy as much as he was a movie guy.
That's what also like a person like a movie. It's newer-ish. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh hell yeah!
I love the soundtrack for that. That's like
Oh.
Quentin Tarantino. Like he knows when to place
Amazing, dude. That
the music
soundtrack,
as well.
guys, so good.
That's like one of my favorites.
I agree. That one, dude. That one, when that movie came out and I saw it, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I think it's one of the best movies ever for me. That like quickly made it to like my top 10. Like I love that movie.
Yeah.
But I had that soundtrack in my car for like a month straight.
Yeah,
just
I have
like
it too as well.
bopping around, like so good, man. Bob Seger System, and freaking Deep Purple, and like a whole bunch of like obscure clips from like these L.A. radio stations from the late '60s. Like that, 100%, dude. That is one that's right up there. Ferris Bueller's Day Off, obviously.
Ben's number 1 is Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah.
Awesome mix, totally awesome.
They did an okay
mix.
job with the mixes. Yeah, some of the songs were a little cliche, but they did all right. A lot of stuff John Carpenter's done. Some of the instrumentals are really good. I can't pick out I can't say I'm gonna go out of my way to listen to the Halloween soundtrack over and over again. But
Speaking of that, for Halloween Kills, I know we both saw it. And him and I believe his son.
yeah,
They did the music for that.
Yeah.
Dude,
Really?
the new
I enjoyed
theme.
really good.
It's so good and it's
Yeah,
terrifying. Like John Carpenter, dude, he still has
He's
it.
still got it. Yeah,
He's still-
if anything, even more.
Yeah.
because he's got more stuff to work with and more time. But
The synthesizer in that one, oh my gosh! And the
you guys should check out his Lost Themes. James and I have a few copies of the third one, but he's already done 3 albums, and he collaborates with the other musicians. I forget their names, but they're all very synth heavy. Dude, he's a very talented musician.
Oh, absolutely.
I would love to see him do a collab with someone singing. Like, I'd love to see him do like backup synth for like a fucking Marilyn Manson song or something. Like, wouldn't that be cool? But another fun fact: Echo and the Bunnymen, who did the cover of "People Are Strange" by The Doors, you can see a Echo and the Bunnymen poster in, I believe, one of the Corey's rooms as well. So, yeah, fun fact.
Nice.
Fun fact.
You
Okay.
guys know the song "Kiss from a Rose" by Seal?
Yeah, it's a
Yes.
great song.
Did
Yeah.
you know that was the original song for the Batman and Robin movie?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
It
I went
was.
back and started watching the video,
Kiss
and I was just
from
like,
a rose.
just blowing my mind.
Isn't that amazing?
The video is
And also,
so crazy.
I heard recently that for Batman Forever, they did a U2 music video, and I can't remember the name of the song off the top of my head, but U2 contributed a song to the soundtrack, and you can see Arkham Asylum in the back of one of their music videos, and it didn't
That's
make it into the
cool.
movie, but it was actually made for the movie set.
Huh.
So if you want to see what Arkham Asylum would have really looked like, I think you might get a clip of it in Batman Forever. I forget, but it's like a more detailed look at it in the U2 music video, which is kind of cool. But yeah, there's a lot of lost stuff out there that barely sees the light of day or never gets to see the light of day. Dude, another really interesting one, like kind of off topic for this episode, but Eric Clapton recorded a James Bond theme song in the 80s for was it Living Daylights, the one of the Timothy Dalton
Timothy
ones?
Dalton, yeah.
Anyway, and they recorded a music video for it, but it was never released, and they didn't end up going with their song. They paid him for it, and they said, hey, we're just gonna scrap this. So the music video got lost and the song was never heard.
Wow.
But Clapton got paid for doing a Bond theme. But it's like, can you imagine how cool that would have been? Like 80s Clapton, like.
Dude, it's out there somewhere. It
Oh,
has
I'm
to be.
sure.
It
Yeah, I'm
has
sure.
to be.
And they said the guy who actually recorded the music video for them, the director, he has since passed away, and they said he would be the only one that would have a copy of it. And like he's been dead for quite a few years, so it's like we may never see it. Isn't that frustrating?
It's a lot of things like that.
Yeah, it's a lot of things.
There's
like
so
that.
many so much gatekeeping at the Hollywood producers of
crazy.
like some stuff just never sees the light of day for just who knows the reasons.
Yeah,
Probably a lot of
legal
political
a lot of red
reasons.
tape. Yeah.
Yeah.
Eric Stoltz, Back to the Future.
Yeah,
A
dude,
lot of
that's
footage.
crazy. Dude, I would just fucking release it. Really? All right. If I could literally just be in control of these studios and say, okay, there are 3 movies I want you to release, or like behind the scenes stuff I want you to release, I would say number 1, Eric Stoltz, Back to the Future. Get everything that you have, put it together as cohesively as you can. The Schumacher Batman Forever cut. Release that because there's supposed to be one that's supposed to be grittier and supposed to have like 45 more minutes of footage. Release that. And then I'm trying to think if there's one more.
Boy,
Really, nothing exists from Superman Lives.
yeah.
But if they did, yeah, put it out there. I'm trying to think what else. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. Can you?
I was just say Superman Lives, but I'm like, yeah, there wasn't really a lot.
Yeah, it was just screen tests.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it was so frustrating. I watched that documentary, the one you told me about, Max, the whatever happened to Superman Lives or
Yeah.
whatever. The death of Superman Lives. That's what it was called.
Yeah.
Basically, they were like 3 weeks away from production. Like they were that close to making that freaking movie happen. And this is the obligatory time to mention Nick Cage in the podcast
Yeah.
because we have to mention Nick Cage. Did you want to talk about other movies that are similar to this? If you guys like The Lost Boys, other movies that people can watch that are in the same kind of style?
Yeah, we could do that. I mean, I'll say like like I wouldn't say like similar, but good vampire films as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, would be the John Carpenter Vampire.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Forgot
I know
about that.
you. Did you? I let you borrow.
I
But
watched parts of it. I don't remember watching the whole thing.
Yeah, you need to watch that again.
that
That's
James Woods?
James Woods. It's actually one of my favorite vampire.
I'll go back and
films.
watch it. Yeah, I love Carpenter. So.
Another similar movies like this. Fuck, dude. It's really this one's like you can't really like.
It's super unique.
Yeah.
You can't pigeonhole it. You know, but I kind of already said it, but I'll say it again. Actually, it's not the same style at all. But literally, the freaking Karate Kid, man. Like,
Yeah.
you've got like there's something about that teenage
Moving
80s
to a new
angst,
town.
the dirt bikes.
Yeah.
Like there's similarities to Karate Kid and the Lost Boys that kind of go unnoticed. I would say definitely American Werewolf in London.
From Dusk Till Dawn.
From
Or
Dusk Till Dawn.
One of my favorites.
Yes, I would say. Oh, there's vampires up there. I would say also actually Teen Wolf. If you enjoyed this, you'd enjoy Teen Wolf, even though it's more campy and more funny and silly. I'm trying to think of anything.
The Lost
else.
Boys sequels. I'm just kidding. No, I ever fucking watched.
Oh yeah,
this.
let's
They're-
talk about how shitty those are.
Like I remember like
We
this when
got True
Blockbuster Blockbuster was open, so they were going straight to DVD.
Ooh, throwback memory.
Yeah, I remember picking them up because I'm like I love the Lost Boys and I watched it and it's like they're fun but they're god awful.
Yeah.
They're so terrible because like you have the Frog Brothers still in it
Yeah.
and
But it's not really enough to hold together the franchise.
No.
It's like what they tried doing with Tremors.
Yeah.
They get like that one dude and his wife, and then there's like 9 sequels, and you're like, the magic's gone, guys.
Yeah.
It's over. The season has passed, you know. But yeah, I don't know why they bother. It's almost like, did you know they made an American Psycho 2
With Mila Kunis?
Now I love Mila Kunis as not as much as the next person, but why? like I mean, American Psycho is a freaking masterpiece.
Wasn't like the plot she's like a fan of him or something? Like,
I don't
never
remember.
even seen it.
I don't remember. I just looked really dumb. But I'm trying to think of anything else that would be good if you
Well,
like Lost
I was
Boys.
thinking Fright Night. It's
Yeah.
a Tom Holland movie. It was released around the same time.
Oh, you guys, we'll talk about that. You know, I got to be honest with you. I've never seen Fright Night.
It's kind of like the opposite. Instead of a single person going into a vampire haven, it's a vampires moving into a normal neighborhood.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, like the neighbors, the vampire. It's a fun one. Like I remember, like I said, I remember the Colin Farrell one a little bit more because it's newer, and I really enjoyed that one. It got a lot of hate, but
Yeah.
like I think it's because like what's his name, McLovin's in it, and they were
Okay.
stupid. But it's a fun one. It's
Wait,
a
they
very fun
remade it?
film. Yeah, Fright Night with Colin Farrell. Yeah.
Huh.
Damn.
They
love
made a
this
sequel
movie.
to the '80s one too, Fright Night 2. I've never seen it though.
Can we kick up a little more fog? I want a little more fog.
Yeah,
While I'm
fog it
looking
up.
at Kiefer's face. I heard, for being such a young cast, another thing I heard from the person who did the hair and makeup on this and the prosthetics, they said they were all troopers. They said like they were all really good about the heavy contact lenses because back in the 80s they were like these big
Dude,
thick
they were
contacts.
thick.
They said, and also the face molds that they had to make. They said no one complained, no one was like wimpy about it. They said everyone just like did their job and was super professional, even though it was a lot of teenagers in this film.
Get ready
Which
for
I
the
thought-
fog.
All right, fog it up. Toke it up. Oh,
It's on too long.
It's not working.
That was on too long.
All right. Well, we're gonna.
It's probably gonna warm up again.
Forget about it.
It's
We don't
fine.
need fog. We don't- you know what fog looks like. Come on. But yeah. So I will go back to saying that like I'm so glad this movie was made when it was made because just look at Hollywood now. If you tried to make another Lost Boys, which apparently they're going to do, it's not going to be that good. It's like
Yeah.
if anything, it'll be passable and you'll watch it once. But think of a movie like this, how you can go back and rewatch this like every year. It's like good luck trying to replicate that.
I'm just curious what they're gonna do with it. Are they gonna make it modern, or are they gonna bring it back to like the '80s? And it has all the kids from like
They-
the Stranger Things, so
they
I feel like
have
they're
a-
gonna go leaning toward the '80s.
Oh, they
again.
always fucking do. Everything has to be a Stranger Things kid, and they can never set anything in the present because the present times aren't that interesting. So everything has to be in the 80s. And it's like, as much as I love the 80s, they really lean heavy on that.
Yeah.
And it's like they have a really hard time capturing the essence of what it really looked like in those movies. And I don't know why, because you have video evidence of what the 80s looked like. Why do they have such a hard time replicating it?
it.
Like, I look at what they do, and it's always like fanny packs and joggers and these fucking weird
bright
over-the-top people.
colors.
And I'm like, there was a lot of like mahogany brown and like weird darkness, and like the 80s wasn't all neon. There was a lot of neon, but I mean, just go back and look at like Tech Noir from the club from the first Terminator. There's an 80s club. Like, go back and look at, anything from Less Than Zero. Go back and look at anything from Ferris Bueller. I mean, like, look at how people actually dressed. Look at things like that. It's like, I don't know why they have such a hard time capturing the essence of the 80s. It's like they're fucking stupid or something.
Would you have a movie that did a decent job?
They did a decent job.
I can't think of one
of,
off the top
of
my
capturing
head.
the essence of the 80s.
Yeah.
Man, they're really bad at it. Like anything they make now, like I said, it's all fanny packs and joggers. Like they can't figure it out. Oh man, a movie that made the 80s. I really got to think. No,
Yeah.
I can't think of any. They do such a horrible job almost always.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of, like they do a better job of replicating the 70s.
Yeah, they
That's,
do.
That's the funny thing.
Yeah, the 80s, it's almost like they're replicating people replicating it now as opposed to actually looking at what it really looked like on camera. You
Yep.
can go back and look at a movie and be like, oh, let's just copy that. Even Hot Tub Time Machine, like it looked stupid when they went back to the 80s. I was like, are you guys even
It's too much.
trying? Like, what the heck? So yeah, literally, I can't think of any that do a good job of going back to the 80s. They always go over the top with the hair and the bright colors.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah,
Yeah, I did not watch The Dirt with the Motley Crue
I heard
movie.
it's awful.
Oh, really?
Motley Crue movie.
Yeah, they made one called The Dirt on Netflix,
Yeah.
and I'm assuming majority of that takes place in the 80s. So
I'm still gonna watch it, like, cause I don't trust people's.
I like Motley
reviews,
Crue, and I like
but-
Machine Gun Kelly. So
Yeah, but
he's supposed to be Tommy
he
Lee.
put like his wife in it. Tommy Lee puts his
They need-
wife in
they need
there
to
and
stop
everything.
doing
And
that.
she's, Brittany Furlan.
You know who's
the
notorious
TikTok
for
star.
that we were talking about?
Fine.
Rob Zombie. You need to stop doing that.
Oh yeah, the Monsters movie.
Can we just talk about okay, so we've said what we have to say about the Lost Boys.
Actually, let's give her a rating.
Oh, of course. So for me, this is a 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5. Wow.
Yeah, this is a 5 out of 5. For the cult status, as far as cutting the cult goes, I think this, in my opinion, is completely worthy of its cult status. I think it's earned it. I think it stands the test of time, and a kid watching it now could fully enjoy it.
Yeah, for a cult movie, you shouldn't touch it.
Yeah,
And we're
it's
getting-
totally
it's
perfect.
getting
So,
touched.
so for me, yeah, believe it or not, this is a 5 out of 5 for me.
I'm gonna give this a 4.5 out of 5. It's really tough to give me a 5 out of 5 for
Wow,
a film,
wow.
but I'm giving it a 4.5. I really enjoy this one. I mean, like, I going back and watching it. There's some scenes that are a little silly, but I mean, that's
Of
because
course.
it's 80s.
That's the charm.
Yeah,
That's the charm.
but like, yeah, I love this. I won't give it a 5, but I see why you give it a 5. I'm just gonna stick with that 4.5.
Yeah, the 5 is just because, personally, I think it's a great movie and it's fun, and the rewatch value is one of the biggest things for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This can be one for like every year.
Every year, 100%.
I'll-
100%.
I would I'd give it a 3.75 out of 5. I said I didn't have like it's like, I don't know. It's not my favorite movie.
You went in with big
It's not that
expectations.
bad. I had expectations, which is where I fucked up.
Did you see it only as an adult?
I've only seen it as an adult.
Okay, I think
So,
that might be a factor.
I don't have
too
any
in my rating.
nostalgia factor.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
I've tried it 5 or 6
nostalgia's
times. and
heavy.
Yeah, it's good. It's not my favorite movie.
That's
3.75.
That is okay. It's rare to get a 5
It's
out of
not
5
bad.
for me, but nostalgia is definitely a big factor for me, for sure. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. 5 out of 5.
The kills were cool.
The kills were very
The
cool.
kills were cool.
Yeah, they did a great job. So if you guys have not seen The Lost Boys, or if you haven't seen it in a long time, go back and rewatch it for the Halloween season or any season, because it's just a great movie. And much respect to the late great Joel Schumacher. I think he will live on, and he'll always be a name that we talk about specifically because of these few movies he
Yeah.
made. His best stuff, like I said, Lost Boys, Flatliners,
Down.
Falling Down, and then of course Batman Forever.
8mm.
And 8mm sucked.
No, we
but
don't talk
no
about
offense,
that.
Joel. No offense. What were we talking about then? We were gonna say something else. Oh, we were talking about Rob Zombie.
Rob Zombie.
Yeah, his movies are. Like, here's my thing. Rob Zombie as a musician, really good. I've seen him live. He puts on a good show. He's a good musician. I like his stuff. I like his music. As far as a director goes, I really could take him or leave him.
I will
I
say
don't really care.
2 of his movies are really, like, House of Thousand Corpse and Devil's Rejects are like, Devil's Rejects is really
Never
good.
saw Devil's Rejects.
I think you would enjoy Devil's
Yeah?
Rejects. His wife is in there.
I saw
but
House of a
it's-
Thousand Corpses when it came out, and on video, and I was like, it was all right.
It's all right.
It was okay, but
The sequel's
everything else
lot
he's
better.
done, I'm just not that big of a fan of his films. Like I said, great musician.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll rock out to some White Zombie any day. But as far as his movies go, I feel like they're I don't know. There's something lacking in them. They feel like they're hollow.
He talks about like how he's like a super fan and everything, and
Yeah.
but he just doesn't.
His stuff's too cold.
Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't give that like good
Yeah.
representation of it. Well, we'll
It's
see with the
definitely too
monsters,
cold.
but I might already like
I already
not for it.
I already hate it. My thing is, it's like I look at it. The fact that Tim Burton's doing an Addams Family, I'm actually excited. Like, I really like the Addams Family.
Mhm.
I love the Munsters too, but I think Tim Burton, if he doesn't go overboard, it could be really enjoyable. And
Yeah.
I think he has more capable hands for dealing with a franchise like the Addams Family. Rob Zombie doing the Munsters, though, I'm looking at his casting choices, and I'm like, dude, they're
just
they're
his
awful.
friends.
They're
It's
awful
just his
choices.
friends.
Like, they look dumb.
I mean, it's cool, like having your wife and everything, but at the same time, like you gotta
Have
think
it
of
be a cameo like
you gotta
Sandler
think of the
does.
audience,
Adam Sandler puts his wife in everything. It's always like a cameo.
Yeah.
It's like she has like 2 or 3 lines, and like that's cool. That's fine. But giving her like a huge role, like Lily Munster, Like that's iconic. That's what was the original actress's name? It's escaping me. I feel bad. Hang on, I'll look it up. I'll know it as soon as I see it. But anyway, she was absolutely
Morticia?
something. No, DeCarlo. Man, it's on top of my
Adam's Family?
No, Monsters.
Monsters.
Oh, Monsters.
The original actress.
It's something DeCarlo.
It's
Yvonne DeCarlo.
Lily Munster, played by
Yvonne DeCarlo.
Yes.
She was fantastic. So she really set the gold standard for like that like type. And also the original Addams Family, Morticia was great as well. And they were like back to back. I think the original Addams Family came out in '64 on TV, and the Munsters came out in '65. So they were like almost copycats, but they were at the time equally as successful.
Yes.
But I love them both. I love them both in their own way. But I think they need someone who's a little more capable of doing comedy, because the Munsters were a comedy sitcom.
Yeah.
It's like Rob Zombie's coming in, and I feel like he's not going to be able to handle the comedic aspect of it. I feel like we need, like, if you're going to make Rob Zombie doing the visuals, which already like makes me cringe a little bit, you need someone like Will Ferrell as an executive producer. You know what I mean?
That'd be good, yeah.
It's like I feel like Will Ferrell actually would have been a really good Herman.
Oh, Jerry
Yeah.
Seinfeld.
Or we said
Jerry
also,
Seinfeld, yeah.
we said because we thought originally it was gonna be Jeff Bridges, but it's like Jeff Bridges.
Oh, Jeff
something.
Daniels.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Jeff Daniels.
Jeff Daniels would have been a freaking great Herman. Yeah.
Mhm.
As far as who do you think would have been? Let's do an impromptu Munsters recasting. So I would pick Jeff Daniels or Will Ferrell.
I think
or,
we'll still go with Jeff
dude,
Bridges
or Will Sasso as Herman.
with the right director.
With the right director.
Because look at what happened with Three Stooges. I think
Yeah.
like he was fun in there, but I'm like it was not good.
Will Ferrell would be freaking great.
Yeah.
Will Ferrell as like the Frankenstein.
Yeah,
Will Ferrell would be great. Yeah.
he'd be really good. Okay, how about for Lily Munster?
I can't even think of anyone.
Ooh,
Lily Munster would
Dude.
be. I'm gonna go with like no, because they need
Tina Fey.
Who's the mom from Modern
Tina
Family?
Fey would be good.
Tina Fey would be good, or even if you want younger, Margot Robbie. She's good with makeup.
That's true.
She's very young though.
Mhm.
But her like as Harley Quinn, it might be a little much. Tina Fey would be really good. Oh no, you know who would be really good? Amy Poehler. I think Tina would have more
I
of an
can't.
edge.
I think
though.
Tina. I
the
can't see.
dark
I
hair.
can't see Amy Poehler in
The
this.
kids, they always fuck up the kids.
The
I
kids
don't
always-
really
yeah,
care.
no.
Amy
Eddie was
Schumer.
fun.
How about that?
Oh, my favorite. Love Amy Schumer. As far as the normal cousin, what was her name? Beth or something like that. What was her name? She that you could pick anyone. I don't know. Actually, Margot Robbie would be funny in that role. Because
Yeah, that'd be better.
yeah, that'd be funny.
Grandpa.
Grandpa Munster. I would say.
I'm gonna. Oh, man, if he was a little bit younger still,
Oh,
would be
boy.
Christopher Lloyd.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah.
But he was Uncle Fester.
Yeah, I know. Who cares?
I would say oh boy, Al Lewis was the name of the actor who played.
Oh, you know who?
Grandpa Munster.
Alan Arkin.
Oh, that would be actually really good.
Yeah, I don't think it would be that bad. Alan Arkin.
I'm trying to think of any others. Christopher Walken would be fucking
That
awesome.
crossed my mind.
Christopher Walken would be badass. And then any random kid for Eddie Munster, because they always fuck up the kids.
Yeah, you can just get an unknown.
Yeah,
Honestly.
unknown would be fine. Eddie, the kid that played him, did a good job.
Mhm.
He ended up marrying one of his fans. There was a fan that obsessively would send him like love letters, like all his time growing up. And then by the time he was like in his 20s or 30s, he like met this super fan, and they ended up fucking getting married.
Another actor did that before too. I can't think of
Yeah.
who that, but
Eddie Munster married a super fan. But I heard they're making a new Bride of Frankenstein movie.
that'd be good.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I love Fairuza Balk. She's so beautiful.
I don't because if it's man, because Universal and it's under the Blumhouse umbrella now for the monsters.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, but look at Invisible Man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But they did Halloween Kills. I enjoyed Halloween Kills. That was a good one. I thought it was
Yeah,
solid.
but he's not the Universal monster. I didn't enjoy Halloween Kills as much.
I
I
loved
enjoy
it.
Michael.
I thought it was great. Yeah.
I love Michael. I love everything. The town was dumb.
It was I mean, I kind of went in with that expectation of it. It actually exceeded my expectations because I went in not even with no expectations. I went in with low expectations, and the kills were awesome. The only thing that's different though that they do with Michael now that I enjoy watching at the time, but it kind of kills some of the rewatch value. Is there's no suspense anymore really. It's
Yeah,
just
there's
just
none.
kill, it's just
Just
killing.
kills.
Yeah, it's just killing. Michael's almost like a typhoon coming through, just like
Yeah.
killing people. He's like a force of nature, you know. And before it was like the suspense and the emptiness was used to the advantage. Here it's Michael's just fucking
And
killing
killing
everybody,
people.
which I enjoyed, but it's not the same as the originals, and you can really feel it, And there's no one grounding the movie like Dr. Loomis' character.
Yeah.
There's no one like guiding the story. The story is kind of like irrelevant. It's just literally just, how can we put Michael in a situation where he can kill people, But I still loved Halloween Kills. Actually, Halloween Kills made it into my top 5 Halloween movies.
I would say it's in my top 5, but I didn't enjoy it as much as because you can't really say
Yeah.
much. Just
It's just the kills.
yeah,
That's it.
just the kills. Like I love like it's like the 2018 Halloween for me.
I didn't like that one as
I
much
didn't
as
like
this
it
one. Yeah.
I didn't think it was that great, but I loved Michael. Like anything, like Michael on the scene is just like he just steals
It's
the whole
great.
show.
Yeah, he steals the show. Yeah. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it though. Definitely.
Mhm.
It's right up there with H2O for me. I really enjoyed H2O. I think I like H2O a little bit more.
I gotta
but
watch H2O again.
H2O is a good one. A lot of people shit on it, but I liked it. I liked that it was a continuation of the story 20 years later, and they kind of forgot everything in between. But anyway, guys, I think that's all I have to say about that. But yeah, Lost Boys, fantastic movie. Go check it out.
Watch it.
And yeah, let's do a little talk about what we're gonna do for the month of November.
It's gonna be fun, very fun. We've name dropped him earlier. He was going to be in this film.
Mm-hmm.
And who is that, Ben?
Guess. I'm gonna give everyone 5 seconds to guess.
I know.
All right, you, sir.
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey.
Everyone's favorite.
The month of November 2021 is going to be entirely, exclusively dedicated to Jim Carrey for all of our No Expectations podcast episodes. So I'll give you a little hint. We're going to do Cable Guy. We're going to do The Majestic. I'm not going to tell you anymore, but it's going to be fun. And yeah, so I don't know what is going to be the first one that we're going to kick it off with. I can't promise that it'll be one of those movies, but perhaps it will be. And yeah, we're all big Jim Carrey fans, specifically 90s and early 2000s Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
So be ready for that. And actually, if anyone does want to watch along with us, should we pick which one is going to be our first Jim Carrey movie?
Yeah, we should. Do you want to just because I want to end it with that one. Let's do the green.
What?
Green guy mask.
Oh, you want to do the mask?
Want to do the mask?
All right, we'll do the first mask.
That's
Yes.
my favorite.
Let's do the mask. It's a little
We'll do
bit
that.
because it's still
'Cause
like
that was a lot of people's first introduction to him, aside from Ace Ventura.
yeah, and it's still close to like because I mean Halloween's over, but someone in
Yeah.
a costume would be the
All right,
beginning of
so
it.
we will do the mask with
do the
Jim
mask.
Carrey. If you guys, not to be confused with Eric Stoltz's mask, depressing. But you ever see that movie?
I don't want to watch that.
Oh, so sad. Don't watch it. It's
Very,
so sad, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna watch Jim Carrey's Mask movie. So definitely add it to your watch list, guys, and be kind.
Rewind.
And subscribe.
Happy Halloween, guys.
I'm excited for this episode.